Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the entire Five Nights at Freddy's timeline by FNAF. Now, if you guys do end up enjoying this video or like Five Nights at Freddy's, please do make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And especially subscribe because we're trying to hit 40,000 subscribers. And remember, the goal is still on the line. If the last Five Nights at Freddy's video that I uploaded hits 1,000 likes, I'm still doing the FNAF marathon, alright? And we're kind of like a quarter of the way there. So, you know, hey, get to pushing. Without further ado, let's get into it. This video contains flashing lights and jump scares. Viewer discretion advised. Y'all heard it here first, alright? The timeline, man.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise with over a decade's worth of content, spanning countless games, books, and
literally.
now a movie.
Didn't it just
There's
hit 10
a reason
years?
that no matter whose timeline you watch, they all look different. Making a FNAF timeline is not easy. There are so many ways you can interpret this story, and this is mine. So let's start.
Okay, so bro's basically saying, all right, this might be wrong. that's what it felt like. Some things might be wrong, but here's the, the gist of it, all right? But honestly, that's understandable because isn't the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline just genuinely confusing?
At the beginning.
Oh, 1970s.
Back in the 70s, a company called Fazbear Entertainment got its start by creating different
hold on.
props and mascot costumes for
Kinda getting
carnivals,
goosebumps.
and specifically for something called the Fall Fest.
The
The Fall
Fall Fest.
Fest featured various mascot characters such as a bird, an elephant, and the most popular of all, Fredbear and Bonnie. These specific mascot costumes were so popular,
Dude, no way that's how Fredbear originally looked. So it wasn't even originally Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy? Bro, what?
Fredbear and
I'm
Bonnie.
already learning something new.
These specific
40
mascot
seconds in.
costumes were so popular, Fazbear Entertainment opened a dedicated restaurant for them called
I ain't gonna lie, that
Fredbear's
shake
Family
looked good
Diner,
though. Hold
featuring
up.
the same Fredbear and Bonnie mascot costumes from the Fall Fest.
So
What
is that
Fazbear
supposed to be
Entertainment
Freddy or
didn't
Bonnie?
account for, though, was one of their animatronics from the Fall Fest going rogue, ending in a giant fire, with most of everything from the Fall Fest being destroyed.
Which game is this from? Ooh, hold on. Ain't this with the movie intro? Yo, hold on. Y'all need to go subscribe to FNAF, bro. His name's FNAF. Literally. This is crazy. John FNAF. Bro's name is John FNAF. He was built for this. Brick by brick.
The specifics about the animatronic that went rogue and the fire are unknown and will likely be revealed next year in FNAF's next big release. Although we don't know much about how this fire occurred, we do know that after the fire, Fazbear Entertainment started phasing out of the mascot costume era. They needed something new. The two men who helped found Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton.
Okay, so that didn't even hit my brain. So initially it was mascots, now we're into animatronics.
Emily stepped up to the plate. William Afton was mostly the businessman of the two, handling all of the money, while Henry was the more creative one, with him being in charge of building most of the animatronics and props for the company.
So he's the brain.
With the Fall Fest era of the company coming to a close, they were only left with Fredbear's Family Diner, the standalone restaurant created for the Fredbear and Bonnie characters.
That's cool.
In order to replace the mascot versions of Fredbear and Bonnie, Henry went to work on new versions of the characters, eventually creating the new Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The same characters.
That can't be what they look like when they were first made, though.
Suits. Henry called them Springlock suits. These suits are able to double as both an animatronic and a suit that the employees could wear. To switch the suit from animatronic mode to suit mode, the employees could use a hand crank to pull back the animatronic parts, leaving room for them to climb inside. The spring locks that were helping to hold back those animatronic parts were very sensitive though, and with even a little bit of moisture, the spring locks could potentially snap shut, crushing and killing whoever was inside. But if
how much does this job pay?
that ended up happening, Fazbear Entertainment had some common sense procedures set in place.
Common sense procedures. Yeah, I was gonna say we need those.
Please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience.
Fredbear's Family Diner ended up being super successful for William and Henry.
Need
So
I
much
say
so
anything?
that other companies tried replicating it. Another company proceeded to rip off Fazbear Entertainment's old mascot characters by creating their own animatronic versions of them. The leader of the group was Ned Bear, a direct copy of Fredbear, followed by a hippo, an elephant, and a frog. All characters from the Fall Fest, and all with slightly different designs to avoid copyright issues. But while the rival company was able to replicate the designs, they could not replicate Henry's state-of-the-art technology. Their robots were
Okay, so I didn't know what these guys were from, but I don't remember if my friend came over one day. It was like a long time ago, a couple years ago. We either downloaded, it might have been both. We might have played, he's a big FNAF fan. He came to my house and we either played a little bit of FNAF World or a little bit of FNAF Custom Nights, or we either played both. And I was like, I think I recognize them from when me and him played that a little bit.
Batteries with exposed wires on stage with them. Naturally, the rival company failed and ended up being bought out by Fazbear Entertainment.
Oh, everybody just bought them.
From Fredbear's Family Diner, William and Henry decided to branch out and create more characters for a new restaurant. In 1983, William and Henry opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, featuring Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. With the opening of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Fazbear Entertainment was experiencing success like they've never seen before. But with two restaurants open at the same time, more success also meant more work for William and Henry. The duo were so
more work equals more money, though.
Started neglecting their own families. William was the father of three kids, the eldest, Michael, the crying child, and Elizabeth. The crying child has yet to have a 100% confirmed name, so for this video, he will just be called the crying child. Meanwhile, Henry had one...
How you gonna say he doesn't have a confirmed name, then pull up with... Oh, he doesn't have a confirmed name. Here's his first, middle, and last
name. So for this video, he will just be called the
Garrett. Well, okay, yeah, never mind. My fault. Hey, I'm over here questioning stuff, but I think I recognize. Like I said, haven't really dabbled too much into FNAF. If you want to hear about that, go watch my FNAF song. You don't care. But I have watched the FNAF movie, and it wasn't his name Garrett in that.
Child. Meanwhile, Henry
so maybe he just has had
a daughter
multiple names.
Charlie. The business partners spent most of their days working, so they both created different ways of taking care of their kids. Henry was the robotics genius, so he used his talents to create a new animatronic to watch Charlie for him. It was called the security puppet. This animatronic would sit by the door of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and make sure that Charlie wasn't able to leave the building. This made it so Charlie could play at the restaurant while Henry worked, without Henry having to worry about her leaving the building or getting kidnapped. The robot was linked directly to a green bracelet
dangerous,
that
though.
was wearing. If Charlie, wearing the green bracelet, tried leaving the building, the security puppet would spring into action. William, on the other hand, was the businessman of the company. He cared more about making money, but also saving money. Naturally, he decided to just force his eldest son, Michael, to babysit while he was at work. Michael was mostly in charge of babysitting the crying child. The crying child didn't have many friends, but he did have a close relationship with his plushies. These plushies were of characters from his favorite show, Fredbear and Friends, Fazbear Entertainment's newest cartoon, featuring Fredbear, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The crying child's favorite character, though...
So the crying child is William's son? I'm a little lost here.
Was Fredbear. He especially loved his Fredbear plushie. Although he loved the plushie version of the characters, the animatronics would soon become a different story. One day, while visiting Fredbear's Family Diner, the crying child saw something that would scar him for the rest of his life.
And what's
while wandering the restaurant, he walked by the employees only room, where an employee accidentally left the door open. Inside the room was his father, William Afton, helping another employee into a spring Bonnie suit. But through the eyes of the crying child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic suit. The crying child was so young that he wasn't educated on how the mascot character...
Okay, I'm going back a little.
Father, William Afton, helping
so that is his father.
Another employee into a spring Bonnie suit. But through the eyes of the crying child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic suit.
Yeah, that would be kind of creepy as a kid, for sure.
He wasn't educated on how the mascot characters worked. So seeing a human be put inside of one terrified him.
I'd be terrified too, my boy.
Something traumatic, their brain naturally tries finding ways to deal with that trauma. The crying child's way of dealing with his trauma was by creating an imaginary friend. This
Why didn't he
imaginary
just ask
friend
his
took
dad
the
about
form
it,
of
though?
the object he
I mean,
loved the
maybe he's
most,
scared of his dad now.
Fredbear plushie. His new imaginary friend
scared. I'm here
Fredbear
with you.
followed him wherever he went, shape-shifting into flowers, hiding behind cars and in the sewers, with nobody being able to see him except for the crying child.
Oh, imaginary
When the crying
friend.
child was overwhelmed, the plushie would talk to him and try to calm him down. Even when the plushie wasn't around, it was still able to speak to him because it lived in his mind.
Interesting. I mean,
dealing with the trauma of seeing
I don't think I've ever had
was
an
someone
imaginary
being
friend. Have
stuffed into
y'all?
a suit, his brother Michael was only making it worse.
I don't
Michael
know.
knew about what happened with his younger brother
Employees
and
only.
used it against him. Every day while babysitting the crying child, Michael
Wow.
would put on a foxy mask, hide somewhere in the house, and jump scare.
That
his
is
little
messed
brother.
up. That is actually messed up. You know, there's always sibling rivalries, bro, but like, it's like, come on. There's a certain degree. Like, you just gonna scare your brother every single day? Come on, man. You gotta have some type of love for them. Some type of love for your siblings, man. What is this animation, though? Hold on.
From the pizzeria
Chill, bro.
to your living room, you no longer have to wait to sing and dance with Fredbear and Friends. Weeknights at 8, 7 Central.
1983. This is 1983, so this isn't the bite of 87, chat. We're in 83 now. Oh, the ambience is getting loud. Hold on. He's gonna find his brother, I'm assuming. Or his brother's gonna find him. Ooh, my bad. I hate those type of clocks, bro. Yeah, shut that door. Just go to bed, man. What you looking up there for? Ooh, lava lamps. Why is this literally like, I wasn't... Under the bed is terrible. You're a terrible human being. I was gonna say though, like, I wasn't born in the 80s, bro, but like, this is kind of reminding me of my childhood too. Having the lava lamp, you know what I'm saying? But, wow. You can
Through
tell he
all
just
of
lives
Michael's
for that.
bullying, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear would comfort him and talk him through the situation, saying, "You know he is hiding again. Be careful. Tomorrow is another day." Michael wasn't
Wow.
the only one bullying the crying child.
But it's
The
essentially
local
just
kids
him in
the
his
neighborhood
mind, what
heard
he's
about
thinking.
why the crying child was so scared of the pizzeria, even making up fake rumors related to what the crying child thought he saw there. "You'd better watch out. I hear they come to life at night. And if you die, they hide your body and never tell anyone." But
In
all
the
of this
suits.
bullying would come to a head on one special day. The
I'm just
crying
surprised his dad
child's
hasn't
birthday.
addressed
Ironically,
it.
his birthday party was being held at Fredbear's family diner. Because he
Okay,
was
the
so
diner.
terrified of being at the pizzeria, he hid under the table, not knowing that Michael
But-
and his friends were nearby, planning a prank that would go terribly wrong.
They gonna put him in the suit. They're gonna put him in the suit, bro. Oh no. Oh no.
Make sure you grab your pizza. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie will be performing in 5 minutes.
Bro, that sounds like Mad Pet. I'm just feeling kind of bad for this dude. Oh, what?
Michael and his friends lifted the crying child up to, quote, give Fredbear a big kiss, and Fredbear bit down on him, leaving his body to go limp. Michael and his friends quickly stopped laughing. Because of Michael's immature behavior, his terrified younger brother paid the ultimate price. Although the crying child
Wow.
was badly hurt, he didn't immediately die. Because of the immense brain damage, he slipped into a coma. After being
What?
treated at a hospital, the crying child was taken home so he could be comfortable, surrounded by his only friends, his plushies. In the crying child's final moments, Michael decides to apologize for what he's done, saying, "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry." After Michael speaks, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear, created out of the trauma he experienced, continues doing what it's done the whole time. It comforts him.
Sorry.
Trauma he experienced continues doing
He won't stop. Okay, so those are the
What
ones.
it's-
Man, that's so sad, bro. Like, yeah, as a sibling, bro, I know this isn't real, but like, I like to get into it. I like to feel like it's real when I react to stuff, but as a sibling, you gotta understand you're raising them too, bro. You're raising your siblings too. You gotta be nice to them. You gotta be kind to them. You can't be just and then for that,
done the whole
look
time.
what happens,
It
bro,
comforts
when you
him,
mess around too
saying,
much.
You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still
Yeah.
believe that? I'm still here. I will put
Half
you
the
back
reason he was
together.
probably so
This will be
sad
the final thing
is
the
'cause of his
crying
brother,
child
not
hears
just
before
what he
dies.
saw.
The crying child's spirit would then live on in the Fredbear suit, the thing that took his life. The crying child's death wasn't just an
Okay.
accident. It was directly caused by Michael's recklessness. This is something that Michael could potentially face jail time
Yeah,
for.
I was
So
gonna
it
say,
needed to be
get this
covered
man-
up. Since the crying child was being kept
Nah!
at home, no one else knew that he ended up passing away. So William and Michael ended up burying the crying child's body in the middle of the woods where no one would.
Okay, so the dad's just a terrible person too. William Afton. Well, yeah, William Afton was just a terrible
no
person.
Tombstone, no flowers,
Michael
just
Afton,
a pile
terrible
of
person.
dirt, an unmarked grave, and
Free
a
the crying
lifetime's
child,
worth
bro.
of guilt that Michael
I'm calling
would
him
have
Garrett.
to live with. Shortly after the incident, Fredbear's Family Diner was quickly shut down, and Fredbear
the diner
was
closed.
completely wiped from existence. The Fredbear and Friends TV show turned into Freddy and Friends on tour. The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie Springlock suits also ended up being moved into the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Mainly
So the
being
pizza
used as
essentially
spare
took
suits
over
if
as
one
the
of the
main
Freddy's animatronics broke
establishment.
down. The death of William Afton's youngest son was a pivotal moment in this story, specifically William Afton's story. This was the first domino to fall. A father losing his son is a traumatic situation, and while any other father would take time to grieve, be sad, and properly deal with such a big loss, William Afton took a different route. Afton definitely was upset about his son dying, but it wasn't because he felt bad for his son, it was because it was embarrassing to him. William Afton was a narcissist. He had little to no empathy. All he cared about was work and comparing himself to his business
Wow.
partner, Henry. Henry had a wife, a kid, and a talent for robotics that Afton was utterly jealous of. The death of the crying child sent
So this
Afton
dude just
over the
sucks.
edge because while Henry's family
He
was
just actually
still perfect,
sucks.
his was now broken. Henry
Wow.
and William had different ways of taking care of their kids, and while Afton employing his eldest son failed, Henry's security puppet succeeded. Henry's daughter Charlie lived on. Afton had a hard time dealing with this feeling of embarrassment. He started becoming an alcoholic,
JR's?
frequently visiting the local bar called Junior's. One night
Junior's.
though, after drinking a little too much and getting kicked out
JR's.
of the bar, he decided that he was going to settle the score with
I like to read the
too
things.
much and getting kicked out of the bar.
Come on, you know you can't be there. Don't make this more difficult than it has to
He
be.
decided that he was going to settle the score with Henry. Afton, drunk and filled with
Henry?
rage, drove from the bar to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he knew Charlie was being watched over by Henry's security puppet. Afton planned on risking everything to kill Henry's
Look.
daughter, Charlie. He didn't care.
Okay, so we went from he just sucks to he's a borderline psychopath. Interesting. Okay. Settle the score with Henry. We're not going to sit here and act like any of this is Henry's fault. You should be settling the score with yourself. You should kill yourself now. Because, listen, dude, he literally... Bro, he's the... Yo, we all know Garrett didn't want to have his birthday there. He did not want to have his birthday there. He's afraid of Freddy. He's afraid of the animatronics. He's afraid of the establishment in itself. And then,
And
yo,
he didn't care if he went to prison. But when Afton got to Freddy's,
Wow.
he noticed that Charlie was standing outside by herself. It turned out that some bullies were able to trap the security puppet in its box and lock Charlie outside the building, giving Afton the perfect opportunity to kill Charlie outside of the pizzeria. The security puppet was eventually able to escape its box and went looking for Charlie. As Afton sped away, the puppet noticed that Charlie was outside in the pouring rain. It then did what it was programmed to do and went to protect her. But as the puppet got closer to Charlie's body, the rain started making it short circuit. It was forced to crawl its way over to her until the rain got to be too much and the puppet shut down right next.
you know, when they initially introduced this character, I thought the puppet was gonna actually kill her, not William. So that's interesting. But I'm assuming it's gonna look like It
to
did.
Charlie's body. While Charlie and the puppet lay lifeless next to each other, Afton was speeding home, driving right past where he buried his son and the bar he got kicked out of. When Afton got home, he was met with his wife sitting in the living room watching TV and Michael in his bedroom. Afton was a drunk and abusive father and fully blamed Michael for what happened to his youngest son. Mrs. Afton tells him to leave Michael alone because he's had a tough day, but Afton doesn't listen. He goes over to Michael's room and pounds
It's
on
both
the
their
door,
faults
only
for
the
sure.
door to be locked. He then makes his way around the house to try and find a way in from the outside. But once he gets to Michael's bedroom window, he notices that it's broken and Michael was gone. Michael was so upset by what he did to his brother that he would sometimes see visions of Fredbear appear and disappear. Tonight, Fredbear appeared outside his bedroom window, and it almost
So Michael
felt like
does
his
feel
brother
bad.
was calling out to him from beyond the grave. This would happen frequently, and every time it did, Michael would run to the spot where they buried his younger brother, only to find that nothing had changed. His younger brother was still gone and buried in the ground. Afton knew Michael did this often, saying, "Ran off to that place again. He will be sorry when he gets back." The guilt of killing his younger
What?
brother haunted Michael in his real
Okay.
life, but also in his dreams.
You know,
Michael would constantly
I don't
have
fully
nightmares
forgive
about the
him, but
animatronic that took his brother's life.
at
These
least
were
he
the
got a
exact
heart,
same
you know,
nightmares his
unlike his
younger brother
father.
used to have every night, now passed on to him.
So are we Michael now? Oh, are you Michael in FNAF 4? Nah. Nightmare Freddy, that makes sense now. That makes sense now. Oh, heck no. What's in here? Oh! I'm good off that. I'm good off
After the
that.
death of Charlie, Fazbear Entertainment tried their best at covering it up. Fortunately for them and for William, the crime was committed outside, where no one was around to witness it. William was able to get away with everything, while Fazbear Entertainment never spoke of the incident
So his
again.
friend
The security
genuinely
puppet
doesn't
was
even
quickly
know.
moved to the
That's
back room
crazy.
of Freddy
That's
Fazbear's
crazy.
Pizza, where the retired Fredbear and Spring Bonnie suits resided. But something was different about the security puppet. Dark tears now appeared on the mask of the animatronic. Dark
Aw.
tears that weren't there before. This is something that Afton quickly noticed the next day when he went into work. He'd heard about what happened moments after he sped off. He knew the security puppet was found laying next to Charlie's body. So does that mean Charlie's soul now resided in the puppet? William definitely noticed that the puppet looked different. Almost like it was haunted. Almost like it was thinking. Other employees would eventually notice the
William
same
gotta
thing.
watch out for that one.
I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere.
After realizing the security puppet may be possessed by the spirit of Charlie, Afton went back and looked at the crying child's Fredbear plushie, only to find that it also seemed to be haunted. The crying child feared for his life every single day, and that plushie was something he was able to cry and pour his agony into. Afton believed that this is what caused the plushie to appear
What's up with the
haunted.
mom,
It wasn't
though?
made alive by the spirit of his son, it was made alive by the agony and fear his son poured into it. Afton quickly became obsessed with the concept of haunted objects, and more specifically, the power of human emotion. He needed to find out if this is something he could take advantage of. Afton then used all of his money he made from Fredbear's and
Oh my gosh, this dude just sucks, bro.
Freddy Fazbear's
Like,
Pizza to build a
Willie
giant
Method is
underground
terrible.
facility directly under his house. It was here that he would try to recreate what happened with his son, to recreate the fear and agony he experienced. In order to do this, Afton didn't take any chances. He needed to replicate exactly what his son went through every day. In order
Himself?
to do this, Afton built a replica of his house underground, along with his son's daily walk to Fredbear's family diner. He
I mean,
also built
this dude
makeshift
does got
bedroom
bread,
where
so
he
it's
could
believable.
force kids to have the same nightmare every night.
Kids.
Afton would sit in his office watching them on the cameras that could be accessed using the passcode 1983, the year his son got bit. He also kept the
1983.
crying child's Fredbear plushie on the desk as a reminder of what he was trying to replicate.
Interesting.
In the makeshift bedroom, there were dummy animatronics that wheeled down the hallway.
Oh, so
If
he's
the
like
kids wouldn't see them
bringing
as
the
just weird dummies on
nightmares.
wheels, Afton would
to
pump
life.
hallucinogenic gas into the room to get the kids to think that what they were seeing was a
It's real.
monster. These nightmare gas canisters were being stored all throughout his underground facility.
So, yeah, this is another question why I'm asking, what's up with the mob? So you're telling me this dude was basically kidnapping kids, bringing them downstairs, drugging them, and trying to scare them to death.
And on the
This
bed
is a
of this
one-of-a-kind
makeshift bedroom
psychopath
was a
story.
Freddy plushie, in the hopes that the kids would pour their fear and agony into the plush, like his son did to his plushie. On the other side of the bunker, where Afton recreated the crying child's walk to Fredbear's, he placed a bunch of Fredbear plushies all over the place. These Fredbear plushies had walkie-talkies inside of them. This was Afton's way of recreating his son's imaginary friend that would talk to him wherever he went. Afton would speak to the kids through his walkie-talkies.
He wants to
in
do
his
exactly
private
what
office.
his
After
son
setting up
did.
the bunker, Afton was only missing one more thing: the kids to run these experiments on. He needed a way to kidnap and capture kids without being caught, and he had the perfect way to do it.
Freddy's Pizzeria.
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone, please stay in your seats.
Actually, I think I got all the entertainment for the day.
And the Funtime animatronics. These robots were specifically built by Afton to capture kids, featuring Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Ballora. They feature advanced technologies such as parental tracking, voice mimicking / luring, and storage tanks.
6'3",
Circus Baby,
50.
the star of the group, was even able to make ice cream
That's a
as a way
tank.
to lure kids to her. Once the kid got too close, a giant claw would reach out, grab them, and lock them in the animatronics storage tank. Some of the board members from Fazbear Entertainment were suspicious of these new animatronics.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take
Weird.
tests. She can even dispense ice cream.
Yeah, I'm
With
good.
all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
Afton even created a new restaurant.
Oh,
for
did
these
he get
animatronics
interrogated?
called
Does he get
Circus
caught?
Baby's
I hope
Pizza
he
World.
does.
Elizabeth,
I hope he
William
does.
Afton's daughter, was
That sounds like
fascinated by
interrogation.
Circus Baby. All she wanted to do was play with her, but Afton wouldn't let her.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? You let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go?
So
He
he-
strictly told her to stay away from the animatronic, but one day
So he cares about
she
his daughter a
didn't
little.
listen. On the opening day of Circus Baby's Pizza World, another domino would fall in Afton's life, and Elizabeth would soon be the victim of his terrible misdeeds.
I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream, although I only did it once. What a wonderful day, though. I was in a small room
Way.
with balloons and a few tables. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. They usually played together in groups of 2 or 3. There were 4, then 3, then 2,
Then, oh
then
my,
1.
oh my goodness.
Time to play.
She killed them all. Okay, but something I gotta say is, like, at this point, wouldn't the place be shut down? Like, kids keep going missing here. Something's up. FBI investigation on all the owners.
Ice cream.
Let's get it popping. Just like that, his daughter's gone. Didn't even get to lick the
Something
cone.
happened when there was one. I was no longer myself. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment.
In an instant, Elizabeth was grabbed by Circus Baby and thrown into her stomach hatch. The sheer force of her being grabbed and thrown into the robot's storage tank was enough to kill her almost instantly.
Wow.
This is something that William wasn't able to test. That was until his daughter became the test. William Afton now lost another one of his kids, but this time it was all his fault. After just one day of being open, Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down. Afton covered up the incident by telling the public that the restaurant shut down due to gas leaks, but not everyone bought that story. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, in other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been canceled due to reported gas leaks in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. One local is quoted as saying, everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it. A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps.
So, okay, so he was really going to keep building this Fredbear thing. He was just going to keep building the universe, keep opening up new restaurants, and boom, another kid died. And we seen how he kind of crashed out last time and started building stuff under his house and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see his reaction to this kid dying.
A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment from the
for
local
sale
entrepreneur who financed the venture. That local entrepreneur, William Afton, successfully covered up everything. He was able to bring Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics back down into his bunker. But once he got them there, he noticed something was different about Circus Baby. One distinct feature about Circus Baby was her blue eyes. But what once was blue eyes now were green, the same color as Elizabeth's. In that moment, he knew that his daughter's soul attached itself to the robot. Her soul lived on in Circus Baby.
So do they still love him?
Charlie went on to possess the puppet was sloppy, and it was hard to recreate without getting caught. But what if the kids' bodies were hidden where no one would ever look? What if, just like his daughter, their bodies were stuffed into the animatronics? For Afton, Elizabeth's death quickly went from just another inconvenience to a scientific breakthrough. Afton was one step closer to harnessing the power of life itself. But one successful experiment wasn't enough. Just like the fear experiments he built in the bunker, he needed to replicate exactly what happened. He needed to recreate
see if it's not a fluke.
Accident, and he knew exactly how he was going to do it. Using the Funtime
dude is a
animatronics
genuine
again
psychopath.
wasn't an option. Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down, and the public was already getting too suspicious of the animatronics. But he didn't need the Funtime animatronics. He was going to run the experiment himself. On June 26, 1985, William Afton made his way to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There, he would put on the old Spring Bonnie suit from Fredbear's to lure 5 kids into the back room.
5 kids? This is what I'm saying. Stuff like this is what I'm saying. Like 5 kids go missing all at once. You should be under investigation. What game we playing? What game we playing? Oh, Fruitmaster 5000.
Hello. Looking for a friend?
The water's clear, come swim with me.
Hey, what? Hey, my bad. The song Heat though. Did FNAF do these animations? Nah. One by one. One by
one, Afton killed them and stuffed their bodies into the animatronics. Susie was first, being stuffed into Chica. Gabriel went into Freddy, Jeremy into Bonnie, Fritz into Foxy, and then there was Cassidy, who went into Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy. At this point, Afton had no idea that the crying child's
Whoa, how is this gonna work?
Spirit was in Golden Freddy, so he didn't think twice about shoving Cassidy in there. The way Afton killed Cassidy, though, was different from the rest. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were just regular animatronics. Afton had no choice but to kill them, then stuff them into the suits. But Golden Freddy wasn't just a regular animatronic, it was a Springlock suit. The same Springlock suit that took his youngest son's life. Afton was aware of how dangerous the Springlocks were. Any bit of moisture or too much movement would cause caused them to snap shut, slowly killing whoever was inside. So that's
Don't tell me those
exactly
things
what
still
he
work.
did to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the spring locks snapped shut.
That is
Cementing
just
Cassidy's death as the
terrible.
most brutal of them all. Freddy,
That is
Bonnie,
just
Chica,
terrible.
Foxy, and Golden Freddy weren't the only animatronics sitting in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, though. They were joined by the security puppet, which contained the soul of Henry's daughter, Charlie. Once Afton was gone, Charlie jumped
So
into
all
action,
these things are
almost
just alive
acting as
now.
a guide for their souls, properly
Oh?
giving them life inside of each animatronic.
Oh?
After the incident, the kids were quickly reported missing.
Kids vanished at local pizzeria. Bodies not found. 2 local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of. Okay, so they know of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. On the night of June 26th, wall video surveillance identifies the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning. So, William Afton was caught. The children themselves were never found and are presumed dead. Sheesh. I can't read that word. Police think that the suspect dressed as a company mascot. It's more than the children trust.
Missing by their families. And although the security cameras caught Afton luring the kids away, he wasn't able to fully get in trouble. Since he was wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, they were never able to prove it was actually him. Afton also hid the kids' bodies.
I thought
where
they said
no
led
one
to
would
his
ever
arrest.
Look, so the bodies were never found. Unbelievably, Afton was able to get away with yet another crime. Because of all the bad press that came from the missing children's incident, people stopped coming to the pizzeria. After months of customers no longer showing up, Fazbear Entertainment officially shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Shortly after the pizzeria shut down, Afton decided to pull the Funtime animatronics out of retirement and finally get his underground facility fully operational. He knew he couldn't try opening another Circus Babies restaurant, so he had a new idea.
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment.
Yeah, I'm saying, so what's next? What's next?
Robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day.
Afton opened Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental. This way, he could rent out the Funtime animatronics to local birthday parties.
See, that's crazy. That literally works in real life. Like, oh, you get bad press and something shuts down, just wait a while and you'll be fine. That's crazy.
Rental business, Fazbear Entertainment was determined to try opening another pizzeria. In the summer of 1987, Fazbear Entertainment opened the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This time with brand new versions of their original characters. These were called the Toy Animatronics, and they were once again built by Henry. Henry was aware of what happened in 1985, and especially of what happened to his daughter, so he was determined to make sure that never happened again. These new Toy animatronics were equipped with facial recognition systems that were linked directly to a...
Oh my gosh, it just hit me like, bro, William's basically just been plotting everything, and this dude Henry's just a good dude. Like,
criminal database.
Determined to stop this from happening again. Whoops.
Security puppet was also brought out of retirement, but instead of working security, it sat quietly in the prize corner.
It's
Freddy,
like, how
Bonnie,
is no one
Chica,
connected
Foxy,
the
Golden
dots?
Freddy and Spring Bonnie were also moved to the new pizzeria, and it's revealed that these animatronics were mostly used for spare parts.
By now, I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now.
So they're all still there.
But they were just so ugly, you know? And the smell.
This means that the haunted metal of the original Freddy's animatronics was now being put into the toy animatronics, causing the toys to also now be possessed. After Afton got away with the first set of murders, he needed to see if the kids' spirits were possessing the animatronics. In order to see for himself, Afton went back to work at the new pizzeria as a daytime security guard. While Afton was working the day shift, Jeremy Fitzgerald was working the night shift. Jeremy worked there for 5 nights, and unfortunately for him, because the kids possessing the animatronics were killed by an adult, they were extremely aggressive to any adult they encountered.
Understandably so.
But when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Meanwhile, Afton decided to pull the same
Understandably
trick he did
so.
at the old Freddy's location, gaining 5 more victims.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Afton used the Spring Bonnie suit to pull the same stunt again on 5 more
No
kids. But as he was committing
way.
the murders, Charlie from inside the puppet was actively trying to save the kids.
Yes!
She tried enlisting the help of the other animatronics, but
Please?
it was too late. Afton had already finished what he started. Not
Dang.
only that, him seeing the puppet and Freddy walking around the pizzeria trying to stop him was all the proof he needed that his experiments were successful. The kids he put into the original suits were haunting
So he's just doing this for the love of the game at this point.
the animatronics. But there was one problem. Afton knew that
Wow.
the haunted metal of the endoskeletons was the key to everything, but the animatronics were trapped at the pizzeria. There was no way he could bring them back to his underground bunker. He couldn't get to the animatronics if the pizzeria was still open and active. So he needed to find a way to make sure the pizzeria shuts down and fast. Instead of stuffing the new set of victims into the toy animatronics, he decided to leave the kids out in plain sight, scattered throughout the pizzeria. This was a guaranteed way to get the pizzeria shut down. A few hours after Afton committed the murders, Jeremy Fitzgerald showed up for his night shift, unaware of what happened that day.
Hello? What on earth
Oh?
are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow.
Safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night.
A birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
The next day, during Jeremy's day shift, one of the animatronics bit him in the head. This was infamously known as the bite of 87.
That's the bite of
Meanwhile,
87?
Afton successfully got the pizzeria
Yeah.
shut down. The local
Oh my
newspaper wrote
gosh.
about the incident, saying after being open only a few short weeks,
Wait.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza
So is that Five Nights at Freddy's 1 or 2? Like as in for the game. So Five Nights at Freddy's 4 takes place in the past, which okay makes sense. So was that Five Nights at Freddy's 1 or 2 right there when the bite of 87?
is closing its doors. The new animatronics
I think
will be
that's the one.
scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. Since the toy
Dude.
animatronics were now being scrapped,
Solid
he knew
14
he could get
people have
away
died.
with taking their endoskeletons. But he also knew that he couldn't risk showing his face at the pizzeria again. So he got his oldest son, Michael, to do the work for him. William was easily able to get Michael to do whatever he wanted. William was abusive and manipulative, while Michael was haunted by the guilt of what he did to his younger brother. Because of this, Michael basically acted as William's puppet. Michael showed up for the night shift at the now closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza
That's
under
terrible.
the code name Fritz Smith. At the end of his shift, he would successfully steal the toy animatronic
Fritz, the kid who died?
endoskeletons for his father, causing him to get fired his first day on the job due to tampering with the animatronics. As it said in the local newspaper, while Fazbear Entertainment scrapped the toy animatronics, the original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were going to be fixed up and reused.
I genuinely
And
feel like
that's
at this
exactly
point
what
there's
they
no
did.
comeback.
After the 1987 Freddy's location shut down, they opened yet another location. This time
Like,
using
no
the
one would
exact
go
same
there.
building as the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
1983 to
As you can imagine, this didn't work out
1993.
great for the business.
Didn't think
People
so.
already had a bad impression
That's
of
what I'm
Fazbear
saying.
Entertainment, so using the same building that the original murders took place in didn't help business. Customers barely showed up to the new pizzeria, leading it to
Understandably
shut
so.
down by the end of 1993.
This has to
Although
be
this
it.
was bad news for Fazbear Entertainment, this was great news for William Afton. Afton was able
Really?
to acquire the endos of the toy animatronics, but that wasn't
Ah.
enough. He needed all of the haunted endoskeletons, especially the ones in the original animatronics. Once the pizzeria shut down, Afton came up with the plan to steal the endos from the animatronics. Each pizzeria was designed with something called a safe room.
As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronics or security system. This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and is always off camera.
This room was hidden from guests and invisible to the animatronics. Afton would use
Okay.
this to his advantage, luring
That's his
each
room?
of the animatronics
Oh.
to the safe room and dismantling them one by one. The kids
Wow.
possessing these animatronics were the same kids he lured into the back room all those years ago.
He really duped
planned
them
to
twice.
Use the same trick to lure the same kids.
Wow,
all over
man.
again.
I just feel bad for these kids, bro.
Once he finished dismantling each animatronic and stealing their endoskeleton, he brought them down to his underground bunker.
So did
where he
that
would
kill them
melt
again?
them all down into one liquid substance called remnant. Not only did Afton rob these kids of their lives, he would use their souls long after they're gone for his own personal gain.
Wow. So are they... Dude took away their lives, then just used them till his is up. My guess is he's gonna wanna live in a suit. Or die in a suit. Right? He wants to become an animatronic himself, huh? Or maybe it can only happen to kids. Just melts them all. Tragic. God bless. God bless their souls. Free them. Free them. I'm guessing this is the events of FNAF 3? Or is it Sisto's location? Because I remember for the songs, like, there was a song where... Oh, yeah. That has to be FNAF 3, right? Because in this FNAF 3 song that we reacted to, he goes in... so that was Afton the whole time, beating him up. Dang, it's weird, because when I reacted to the songs, I was like... On the person side, I was like, yeah, bro, get these animatronics out of here, dude. And then now that I know the story, it's completely reversed.
By melting down the endos, he successfully created remnant. This substance, containing the spirits of all of the missing children,
What's the goal
was
here?
silver in color, and if kept at the right temperature, was malleable. Afton didn't want to risk testing the remnant on himself, so he injected it into the Funtime animatronics. Once he did, the animatronics jumped to life. The experiment had worked. William Afton unlocked the power of life itself. After his successful experiment, he went back to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to collect his old Spring Bonnie suit. But once he got there, he was met with the spirits of the 5 missing children, trapping him inside the safe room. Cassidy, the spirit inside Golden Freddy, chased Afton around the room and forced him to get into the Spring Bonnie suit. Cassidy was the most vengeful spirit of them all. Being spring-locked in the Fredbear suit was a painful and slow death, and he wanted to make sure that Afton knew what that felt like. At this point, Afton knew how a spirit could live on. As long as he was inside the suit, he knew he'd be back.
Oh, so this is it. So he's gonna die right now, though. Deserved death, though. Deserved death. Deserved death.
The spring locks snapped shut, forcing him to go through what Cassidy went through. This was an act of revenge by Cassidy, and it wouldn't be the last. Afton was now
wouldn't be the
confined
last.
to the safe room of the now shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and because of this, everything in his underground bunker
What's up with
was
Henry,
left
though?
abandoned. But even with Afton gone, the rental business continued on its own. All of the Funtime animatronics containing the spirits of the missing children and even his daughter Elizabeth were still being rented out during the day and then brought right back down to the bunker. All the spirits wanted to do was escape, but they were always put back underground. After Afton went...
Yeah, okay. I feel like one thing we need to learn about in the FNAF lore is the mom. What happened to her? I don't know if it gets addressed here. Because, you know, how are they getting into the bunker? Is the bunker just commonly known? Is it not supposed to be a secret? I don't know. You know?
Missing his eldest son, Michael, who's been helping his father.
Never mind. So Michael knows about it, and he's the one arranging it. That actually fills me in perfectly there. But what's up with the mom? Is the mom just like, she's just not important?
remembered what his father told him if he ever went missing. If William wasn't there to finish his work, Michael would do it for him. Afton's underground facility was always off limits to Michael, but since he was now gone, Michael had no choice. He took the elevator down to where his father worked every day. Although Michael was helping out his father by stealing some of the endos from the animatronics,
I feel bad for
back
Michael in a
He
way.
never exactly knew what William was doing until he got down into the bunker.
I definitely feel bad for Michael in a way. Like, he's being tricked to do his dad's work, but man, he's just an idiot. He's just an idiot, you know what I mean? But sometimes you gotta feel bad for an idiot.
Over the several days he visited the bunker, he learned more about what his father was up to. He learned about the massive facility his father built, complete with multiple rooms conducting fear experiments. He learned the truth behind the Funtime animatronics and how they were actually designed to kidnap kids. And he learned through the voice of Baby exactly how his sister died.
It's like right then and there, you don't like say, okay, this is crazy. I'm calling the cops.
I couldn't move. At least, not until she stepped closer.
But as the week went on, Baby was conducting a plan of her own, a plan to escape the bunker using Michael's body. Elizabeth was no longer the person Michael remembered her as. She was entirely devoted to her father and would do anything to make him proud of her. At the end of the week, all of the Funtime animatronics endos were scooped out, with all of them combining into one animatronic called Ennard. This creature, containing the spirits of the missing kids and Elizabeth, knew they wouldn't be able to escape the bunker looking like an animatronic. They needed a human body to walk around in.
Dog.
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today.
Gulp.
Funtime Freddy has already been here today.
Gulp, gulp.
Alora has already been here today.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Circus Baby has already been here today. I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside.
Dude.
There's nowhere for us to hide here.
I just feel bad for these kids, man.
When we look like this.
Oh.
But if we looked like you.
Oh, she's directly talking to him.
If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
That sounds like it's gonna hurt a lot. Oh my gosh, so did he agree with the plan or was it forcefully?
Got scooped out and replaced by Ennard, helping all of the souls to escape the facility. With every passing day after this happened, Michael looked more and more like a walking zombie. His skin was starting to turn purple, and people started to notice. Michael's body was no longer
Oh my gosh, Michael really turned into the real purple guy, bro.
a good disguise for Ennard. So Ennard ejected itself from Michael. But
wow,
because the scooper was also a remnant injector, when Michael Afton was scooped, he was also injected with remnant. The remnant made it so even after Ennard was gone, he was still able to survive. With Michael now back in full control of his body, he had a new mission. Although he did, one way or another, successfully free his sister from the underground facility,
so he wanted to help.
Also learned about all of his father's terrible misdeeds.
Yeah.
His loyalty to his father turned to disgust. It was time for him
Good,
to
come on, Michael.
Father, it's me, Michael.
Ooh. Okay, Michael redemption story. Accidentally killed his brother, but was a terrible bully. Then gets tricked by his dad. Bro, he basically just made everything 10 times worse, but the redemption arc is here, bro. Redemption arc for Michael.
I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows.
So he's just this mutated thing.
Left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you.
And kill you.
I'm going to come find you.
As in die? Oh no, he's
Michael would spend years searching for his father with no luck, until a new ad in the local newspaper caught his attention. Someone decided to open something called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Local amusement park is getting ready to scare your socks off with a new attraction based on the unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Featuring actual relics from the decades-old pizzeria, this new attraction is guaranteed to bring back your childhood.
Who was
in the
that opened
worst
by?
possible way. As if using the crimes of his father to make a profit wasn't bad enough, they also went back to the old pizzeria.
Oh, it was opened by Michael?
They could find to put on display at the attraction. Michael immediately applied for the job of the security guard with the sole intention of burning the place to the ground. When he got there, he saw the remnants of his past. The shells of all of the animatronics,
so this is 3.
missing every single one of their endoskeletons. He knew they could only find the shells of the animatronics because he and his father stole their endoskeletons all those years ago, leaving only the shells behind. On day 2 of working at the attraction, he got...
Can I just say, this is a really good video, because like I may not really know about FNAF, haven't really played the games, but I am kind of like, you know, been around FNAF culture, so I've seen the gameplay for 3. I've seen what the gameplay is like, you know what I'm saying? But this really puts everything together, bro. This is a freaking banger video, I'm not gonna lie.
That they found a real animatronic.
You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
This real animatronic ended up being his father, still inside the Spring Bonnie suit he died in decades ago. Even though his father was now in the building with him, he still decided to go through on his plan, all in an effort to end his father once and for all. Michael then rigged the wiring in the building to catch fire, burning the horror attraction to the ground with his father inside.
Does it work though? Does it work though? I don't know, cause this dude after always said no, I will come back.
The local newspaper would write about the fire, saying a new local attraction based on an ancient pizzeria chain burned down overnight. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment it seems to have been caused by faulty wiring. Although the fire destroyed most of everything in the building, William, miraculously, was able to survive.
No!
William is now free, roaming the outside world along with the souls of the missing children, Elizabeth, and Charlie inside the puppet. Since Michael wasn't able to end everything, someone else needed to step in. That someone was Henry Emily, Afton's old business partner and
so does Henry know now?
The fire at Fazbear's Fright, along with the rumors of the various animatronic creatures now roaming the streets. Henry was determined to put an end to all of this.
Let's go, Henry. Let's go, Henry.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of
I feel bad for Henry, like
set to new purpose and used in ways I never thought imagined.
Freddy Fazbear could have been on some Chuck E. Cheese stuff, you know, where a kid can be a kid.
With familiar tricks, he brought them all together.
But Afton, bro, villain.
I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself
They're aware.
sleep.
They're aware.
Not yet. Not until I undo what he has done.
Yep.
Heal this wound.
Dun,
a wound
dun,
first
dun,
inflicted on
dun,
me,
dun,
but
dun,
then one
dun.
that I let bleed out to cause all of this.
Let's
He
go.
set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was.
Oh?
But he led them there again. He overpowered them again. And he robbed them of the only thing that they had. Again.
Again.
I don't know how those
That's what I was saying earlier. Man, he did it again.
Machines, but they will never find rest now. Not like this. I have to call them all back. All of them. Together in one place.
By gathering all of the animatronics in one place and locking them in the same room, he would be able to
Bro, how though? How did he get them all together?
For good, effectively freeing
How
their
did he get them
spirits in
together?
the process. In order to do this, Henry created a new restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place.
Oh.
He knew that the spirits and William couldn't resist coming back to a new location, even if
Really?
it was all just a trap. Charlie was different though. She was smarter than the rest, so Henry knew she wouldn't
Shout
be
out
as
Charlie.
easily fooled. So he created an animatronic called Lefty, standing for
The thing is, would Henry want to kill Charlie though? That's his daughter, man. That's his daughter. Would he really actually want that?
For lore, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract, specifically to capture the puppet and bring it to the pizzeria. While trying to find someone that would help him carry out his plan, one person showed up for the job.
Michael?
A person who was also determined to finally end all of this. Michael Afton. Day after day, the animatronics roaming the streets would show up in the alleyway next to the pizzeria.
So is Michael Afton just
AKA
genuinely a purple piece of mush?
And the crying child, now
or is that like a suit?
Freddy, Charlie, and Lefty, and his father, William, all showed up in the back alley. Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them into a facility under the pizzeria, designed to be a maze with no exit, where the animatronics would roam around without even knowing they're trapped, until the end of the week, where they would all be burned to the ground. With all of the souls, including William himself, now in one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing. All of this remnant now in one place was...
As far as who?
Elizabeth and William were concerned, now in one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing. All of this remnant now in one place was all that they wanted, until Henry stepped in.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No, this was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us.
This
a
is,
gift.
This is
now
sick.
we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot. I was like, okay, I see why that would be good for William, but I kind of actually forgot that Elizabeth is actually still dedicated to her father.
Listen, and be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed.
Still even
You're not
remember
here
that
to
name.
receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called.
Oof.
You have all been called here.
Henry got aura,
A
bro.
labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped.
Loki, we need an animated FNAF movie too.
Endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will.
Wow.
This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave
Afton's like,
volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away as the agony of...
Okay, I could be completely reading that wrong. Is he basically saying Michael's gonna die right here too? And so is Henry? Is Henry gonna die too?
Every tragedy should.
Or no?
And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more.
I hope
waiting
so.
For you after the smoke clears.
I hope so.
Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend.
We know who he's talking
My
about.
daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours.
Dang.
What became of you?
I feel so bad for her.
I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then. So let me save you now.
Dang.
It's time to rest. For you.
Henry low-key a goat.
You have carried in your arms.
He was overtaken by work, but he was low-key a goat.
All of us. In communication.
See.
Henry putting fire to the animatronics may have freed the spirits from the metal of the robots, but some of them still needed help actually moving on into the afterlife. This help would come from Charlie. She helped guide the spirits into the robots. Now she would help them move on. In the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, the way a spirit can move on is by them being put into a happy memory. The memory Charlie chose actually comes from the crying child and the day he got bit. Piece by piece, Charlie put that terrible, shattered memory back together. But this time, she would change it into a happy memory.
Oh.
Instead of the crying child getting bit on his birthday, Charlie changed it so that all of the missing kids and Charlie would celebrate him, giving him a giant birthday cake. By changing that terrible memory into a happy one and attaching all of the spirits to it, they were able to successfully pass into the afterlife.
That's sad, man. That's sad. Charlie is such a good kid. Now probably a fully grown adult spirit, but I don't know how that works. That's so sad. I'm glad. So by her making that memory, did that let them all move on?
Like I said, they were all able to move on.
Yeah.
Except for one.
Susie? No way, bro. Or is that Afton?
Cassidy, the most vengeful spirit of them all, wasn't done yet. He decided to attach his soul to Williams, making sure that William was unable to move on. By attaching his spirit to Williams, he was able to trap Afton in an endless loop.
That's a different type of hate. And understandably so, but that's a different type of hate in your bones.
Of death.
Go to the afterlife, let me be at peace, or just hate on somebody. Make sure he just
relive every one of his terrible misdeeds. The fear experiments, his underground bunker, and the pizzeria where Cassidy was killed. Afton experienced all of this while being attacked and killed over and over again by all of the animatronics from his past. Every time an
So, okay, question. Are we Afton in all the Five Nights at Freddy's games? That's just a theory? A game theory?
animatronic would attack him.
Are we
Cassidy
Afton just
would be
reliving
there,
through them?
reminding him that
Reliving?
the suffering will never end.
We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us.
Cassidy
he sure
knew
did
that
go to
Afton
hell.
didn't deserve the afterlife. He deserved to pay for what he's done for all of eternity.
Sheesh. Okay,
But
though.
if you keep up with the franchise, you know that that's not the end of the story. Like I said at the beginning of the video, making a FNAF timeline is not easy, no matter what anyone says. In broad strokes, you can explain the basic plot, but once you get down to the motivations and the why of everything, you have to start filling in the blanks yourself. Some people who've helped me fill in the blanks that I'd like to shout out are Right Host for his theory about Cassidy being spring-locked in Golden Freddy. I think that makes a lot of sense and is really satisfying for the narrative. Also, I'd like to shout out MattPat for his theory about Midnight Motorist. After trying to figure that minigame out for years, I think your explanation makes the most sense. It's important for me to say that no one except for Scott Cawthon himself knows the exact story he was trying to tell. So please make sure to watch other people's timelines as well and come to your own conclusion on everything. And when the time is right, I'll be back to tackle the newer games in this franchise.
So,
then,
what's
make
up with
sure to
Security
subscribe,
Breach, though?
And thanks for watching.
Okay. Alright, we'll turn this down and we'll do a little outro or something. Bro, big shout out for FNAF, bro. Big shout out for FNAF. This was a movie, in a way. Oh, that was MattPat. I thought so. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy my reaction and you want to see me do more FNAF content, y'all just gotta show support. But the biggest way to show support is clicking that subscribe button. I can see how many people subscribe. It lets me know, is the community here with me wanting to watch more of my stuff? So click that subscribe button and like button, comment button, cool comment button. But I appreciate y'all. This was just a genuine eye-opener. Just a genuine eye-opener on the lore. And he did say to check out more FNAF lore videos. Y'all want me to check out the Game Theory FNAF lore video? Let me know. Let me know. I think this was really good, though. I think this was really good. But I don't got too much else to say. Comment, like, and subscribe. Do all that good stuff. I love you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bro, I feel like I'm gonna be thinking about this all day. I almost cried at the end too. I don't know if any of y'all noticed. I was literally like, no, hold it back, bro. This can't be the first time I cry in a video. But that really hit. That ending hit home, bro. Like, she helped all them to move on, bro. Dang. Just hits for me. I don't know. Love you guys. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.